What's up?
What's up? So what are we here for again?
Checking.
Checking.
Upgrades.
So yeah, we have been 2 years into operation as Nuvedo Lab Private Limited.
One of the things that I think we should all share, and I know a few people are missing. There's Neelu, there's Ryan.
He's still here.
Yeah, I mean he's here. He's hi Neelu. So there are people who are not in here. I mean, but we all have memories, that funny things that we probably make this journey a lot more special. So maybe each of us can share something that we want to remember, or like we want to highlight from last year, or even the last 2 years that's gone by.
I just want to say, in my whole life, I haven't spoken to these many people over the span of 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's something I keep thinking about. Imagine talking to over 1,000 people in a day.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Amazing.
Especially the time those newspaper articles came out, I think your phone didn't stop ringing for like 3 days, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't even know the article came out until they had to tell us. We were like, okay, guys, why are you calling us and where are you getting the number? And then suddenly somebody said that, okay, your name came up in this Kannada newspaper article. And then after that, I think Sri's phone didn't stop ringing for a week.
Yeah.
My favorite moment and most memorable moment has to be one and only one, which I speak about in every cultivation workshop when I tell them what not to do when you inoculate. It was a time when we made our first batch of grow kits. I think it was around 500 grow kits. And we were doing this small makeshift lab in Srikant's sister's house in Whitefield. This was during COVID. Somehow managed to get all the resources, running 2 small pressure cooker sized autoclaves multiple times a day, wondering whether it's going to explode. Finally, we inoculated 500 bags without sleeping for 3 days. 3 days, didn't sleep. And 1 month later, we had to throw out everything. And that was the time when I saw all colors of mold: pink mold, green mold, grey mold, yellow mold, I think.
And I remember Jashid calling Vyom and saying, dude, what's happening here? Like, why am I seeing all these different colors? By the way, Vyom was at that time during the lockdown in Malana. And then we were like foraging. Yeah, and he was like, dude, what's happening? I'm seeing all kinds of molds. I don't know what I did. And then, yeah, of course, we realized that, having a sterile environment, having a lab is really important.
Till this day, I feel like it was that moment when I scratched my face somewhere in between because I was sweating. I think I scratched my face or my nose or something and I touched that bag by mistake. And after that, all those bags had to be thrown. But like, yeah, lesson learned. Not a good system.
Yeah.
But like, whatever, man. That's how we start.
Again, these are all like 2021 kind of very rudimentary kind of issues where we didn't have a tripod. Okay, this is like basic.
The first
Okay,
recipe.
yeah, we didn't have a tripod. We used a broom and we put it between like 2 boxes. I don't even know what we did, right? Like, and then we put a stool and he was holding it, and then we were trying to shoot the oyster mushrooms. So I think from there to now, this great light.
Remember the first grow kit that we tried to record?
Time lapse.
Yeah. Remember how many cameras were on it?
Oh yeah.
There was a ladder, so which acted as the
There was a CCTV camera.
tripod.
And a CCTV camera.
Yeah, there were 2 CCTV cameras just running all through the night. And my phone was also put in place. Then there was this camera that you had.
And the cat walked across it finally. And in the last couple of moments when we were examining the final footage, we realized that the door was open and Shrikant's sister's cat, Mishu, shout out to Mishu, had walked across the frame multiple times, so we couldn't even use that footage.
What about on the, I think even in terms of where we have grown on the facility front.
Even like getting racks and having kits on the racks from starting. When Sibi and I were inoculating the kits inside, we did not have racks and we were putting the kits on the floor, okay? And it was not even organized. Organizing that thing to making it into a rack system, filling those racks up, and now that room is completely full.
My God.
And now I think we've reached the place where we need more space to keep this stuff. Right? First foray. Remember the first time that we went to Kavan Park?
Yeah, and we were thinking we'll find some Ganoderma and it was right there, and it gave so much confidence कि हाँ यार season आ गया, अभी हम लोग को सबको इकट्ठा करके we should start doing this.
Right.
It's like a thought that just came to us and saying that, we should call more people and make this a thing. And all thanks to this man, like right here.
For everyone who doesn't know, one person who's been a huge part of our facility is Rajesh Bhaiya. Of course, he's been with us right from the beginning when we were setting up things. He used to, help with a lot of the construction work, and now I would say he's a core team member of the cultivation group.
मतलब राजेश भाई, आप ना यहाँ पे आए हो जब से, मतलब हम लोग ने किसी ने भी आना स्टार्ट नहीं किया था. आपने ये पेंट भी आपने मारा है, ठीक है, माने आपने पेंट मारा, आपने एक एक जगह देखा इस फैसिलिटी का, और अभी आप हमारे साथ पूरा कल्टीवेशन में आ चुके हो। आप मुझे ये बताइए, आपको सबसे मज़ेदार चीज़ क्या लगता है, ये जो 2 साल का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है आपका?
2 साल तो हुआ नहीं, अभी 1.5 साल हो गया। 1.5 साल से आप लोगों के साथ काम किए हम। ये नहीं लगा कि मैं वर्कर की तरह कर रहा हूँ। अगर कोई काम भी करता हूँ, आप हो चाहे मैडम हो, भैया उसमें काम करना शुरू कर देते हैं। हमको ये नहीं लगा कि हम वर्कर की तरह काम कर रहे हैं।
को हमेशा आप मतलब हमारे बड़े भाई की तरह ही है आप हमेशा ना।
Yeah, I think Neelu wants to say something.
Do you guys remember when we started planning the facility? We just sat with some paper and started drawing rectangles on it. Felt like we were back in kindergarten learning how to draw shapes.
Okay.
Funny man.
Funny man. This guy, I tell you, Niladri. I mean, this looks like a very sad obituary post, but no, he's a great person. Yeah.
Much like a lot of things that have happened here, Neelu has been an observer from a distance. Thanks for that, Niladri. Oh yeah, another really crucial moment was, this is the first time that we were trying to grow oyster mushrooms as a group. We decided to be brave and cut straw using our bare hands. Prithvi and I had knives. Srikanth was smart enough to order a pair of scissors. But Srikanth was sitting in his sister's house across the city and doing this, and we are video calling each other, trying to figure out the process. And finally, all three of us woke up the next day with blisters all over our hands, right? And we couldn't do anything for 3 days. Then we started trying to use a blender, putting the straw inside the blender, and then blender had to be thrown finally because it was got clogged. So yeah.
What about 2022, guys?
I think became really smart, and there are not much like bloopers that happen in 2022, but a lot of really memorable incidents.
Maybe on a dog foraging that we did in Wayanad. I think that was like one of the most amazing kind of experiences that I've ever had in my life. Like I never thought that I would have so many people coming out and just looking for mushrooms, and that too in a different place, away from house, and everyone's come together. First trip was out and about. Shout out to Prasenjit and the whole team there. Yeah, I think you guys really pushed us to make it happen, and we've seen a slice of what that is. We went on to do India's mushroom gathering. That was also super fun. I think that was one of a very
I think a really cool moment from Wayanad. Yeah, now that you've brought up the topic, there was a small stream, 10 feet across, maybe like it was a stream, and it was 5 feet deep, and the only thing across the stream was like a log, and there was a metal wire which is supposed to hold for support, and like exactly like Vyom was demonstrating, you're supposed to walk across. Our friend Mr. Jinu, again shout out to Jinu, ran across the log and made it look like it was easy. And then the next one took, everybody is just like this, 25 people standing on the other side of the stream looking at, okay, who's going to go next, what's going to happen. And Prithvi is like, yeah, I'll do it, and she walked across. Person went before Prithvi, and Prithvi was like literally 2 feet away from stepping onto the other side, when somebody from behind who was already crossing the log, he was behind you, and he yanked that thread and straight into the stream. And that was the beginning of the walk. That was like we just left the resort and started walking, and everybody's like, hey, mushrooms, and then suddenly everybody's like, oh hell. And I don't think we want mushrooms so much also. Prithvi's first reaction was my phone, and she just picked it up and threw it to Jinu.
Wanted to see mushrooms, right? And that was the only, that was the thing we had to cross. We sat on the log and started rolling the log and slowly reaching to the end. And yeah, that was it. And pretty much everyone came from there, and the walk started after that. One very good thing that happened with us is also Hari coming up on the team, right?
Oh my god.
If that took foraging to the next level.
Shout out to
Indian Toadstool. He has been a great teacher also. It is because of him that I could also build the confidence to take a good amount of walks with Nuvedo. Seriously consider Jinu Cheta and Hari as my teachers who have taught me a lot about foraging and about how do you identify mushrooms. Diane is not here, but I really wanted him to be here with us today. See, after 2022 was when we did a lot of work in operations also, right? Yeah. Things got tight. We had a lot of, every month was had to be tight. Supply should be there to reach the demand of the production, right? Took responsibility of so many things, which made pressure a bit less on the cultivation team, and hence we could do a lot of things. I joined in around September officially, right? From that day itself, from how we have grown, every new room has come up. Every room you can see something new building inside the room, right? Even the office space came up, right? Now we have so many things in the office also, right? First there was not even this table.
Yeah.
Just very sofa.
This
This was not even there. This came someday. days back. Things are building up very nicely, and
Slowly.
yeah,
Brick by brick.
one day at a time, one step at a time.
Every time you come up, we grow a new mushroom. It's like an adventure, right? That wait, when is it gonna happen? And photos coming into the group. And every time. So basically, what happens is we inoculate, and then Vyom takes a few kids home. He gives a couple of kids to us, so everybody takes some of these home, and then we all try to grow these out. For the next couple of days, once we start seeing something happen, it's like everybody just turns into a bunch of little kids, and people are just calling each other, and they're like, hey, did you see this? This is happening. How's yours doing? Ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai, ye dekha tum. And then finally everybody coming together to eat it. So I feel like it's been an amazing journey, and I have truly enjoyed just what mushrooms have also been able to show us and make us feel. Last year, I would say, has been super jam-packed and very emotional with a lot of ups and downs, but the mushrooms have sort of held it together like they've been doing.
I think for all of us, the main motivation is that we are working with mushrooms. Shri, for example, when you started taking photographs of mushrooms and the photographs that you take now are so different, and you are actually feeling the elements of the mushrooms. When I see your photograph, I understand it. हाँ भाई ये इसको समझ रहा है अभी. You want to understand that. All of us have that drive of understanding mushrooms in the way we are working with it, right?
Yeah.
Same comes for like cultivation, and same comes for like how do we go onto the business side, how Jashid and Prithvi are dealing with the entire scene, how we are trying to create this marketplace, and how we are trying to understand the human factor and getting the mushroom feel to them. Correct. In our own ways, we are doing it for mushrooms, right?
In mushrooms, we trust.
Yeah.
Touched upon a really important point that everybody has a different way to connect to it, right? You are in the cultivation side of things, the foraging side of things, the identification side of things. Srikanth more the culinary, the visual, the videography, the photography. Prithvi and me more the community side of things, the anthropology side of things, human mushroom interaction. How do we take this organism and make it easier for people to understand? How do we take all of this knowledge and make it easy for people to digest? Niladri in the more technical side of things. How do we take all these compounds in these mushrooms and get it to people and make it work for them? Yeah, and even Rajesh Bhai has come up with so many little innovations that we would have never thought of. For example, buckets. We got a lot of complaints from customers saying that their buckets were getting jammed. Rajesh Bhai realized that you just have to take a small piece of rope, tie a knot on both sides and put it inside the lid, and then when you want to open it, just pull it out. Very simple things which have saved us a lot of trouble, I would say. Very important point is that we've all somehow managed to find different ways to connect with mushrooms. It's been an amazing journey, and I think that'll continue to evolve also. That's the beauty of this.
We're doing this video in 2 years and so many things to talk about, but I feel we've got so much to evolve to, and that's exciting for me because I feel like I have learned so much in the last 2 years of just being with mushrooms that I feel that's like just 10% or like 2% of what I mean. I'm not going to put a number on it, but there's so much more to do, and I think that for me also the real fun and that challenge. And I think 2 years is a sweet spot to be in, but I want to make it this legacy. Like I want this to be something that we can all remember for the rest of our lives and feel good about the time that we spent doing what we did for however long that might be.
Talking about impact, I think a lot of the feedback that we have gotten from people is how our passion is contagious. Like how we talk about mushrooms, how Jashid talks about mushrooms. It's quite contagious, and that's also how a lot of them started even looking into this wonderful organism, which also calls for remembering most of the collaborators and people that we have worked with. Especially the number one that I can think about is Bangalore Creative Circus. Yeah, they've been real support to us from the beginning. The very first flea market that we did was with them.
It's so hard to put one collaborator on this, but the ones that really comes to my mind is also some of the chefs like Nayantara that we've worked with, right? Or people who have been willing to take our mushrooms and try it. Sandhya, Snack Samaya, who really said, give it to me, I'll try something. These are chefs, these are collaborators, but guys, there's a huge list. I think there are so many people who have, and organizations and, community that has made us reach here. A lot of that goes to the power of people, the power of being together and saying that I got you, I'm here and I support this, and I think that let's give it a try, let's see how it goes. And I think that sense of freedom to say yes, let's do it, that's what I just love about collaborations. And I'm not just saying it like collaborations, but I genuinely mean it as I have seen it. And I think this again comes back to mycelium, the way they work. One of the craziest things is our foraging walk. Foraging, foraging, foraging. Who can say? But Which one's your favorite, guys?
I think one of my favorites is Wayanad, definitely, because we found a mushroom the size of my head. Actually, way bigger. It's the first time I saw a mushroom that big. I don't think I've seen something that big ever. The whole group of 25 people was able to eat it, and I think it was one of the most tastiest mushrooms I ever ate.
Yeah.
A lot of foraging walks have been interesting because coolest thing about finding mushrooms is that every month there is a different temperature. You find a different mushroom. There have been favorite foraging walks, but I never knew that you being in a city, you will be able to find so many mushrooms around you,
Right.
which was the first surprise that we got. I guess even Hari would agree with that because he was like, यार कबन में तो कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है. और भाई कबन में we have found I guess around more than 60 to I guess more than 60. But one of the favorite foraging walk O2 fungi. And remember, like we were just walking inside Lal Bagh that day, and there was termitomyces right there.
All over.
Which one was your favorite?
I think my favorite was the Wayanad. It was just unbelievable that we didn't have to step more than like a kilometer from that place and we just saw a bajillion mushrooms. I just loved the place. I loved that we went with such a enthusiastic group. I never thought that we'd be able to do an outstation one, so it happened and I was like, wow, we can keep doing this now, keep going to places, and it also gives us a reason to travel, right? And I think that's also part of the experience of it. Even while foraging walks in the city also, you're traveling into a different space. You're going into the world of the mushrooms and you're like, okay, hi, I'm going to meet you in your environment for a while and, have fun and then come back. So I think that's really fun.
What Vyom and I and Shrikant, when we go back to the same spot, we sort of know where to find what mushrooms, and every time we go there, we're like, हाँ वो तो मिल जाएगा उधर. We go back and it's like revisiting an old friend. Sri, what about you?
Yeah, for me, each and every foraging walk is quite a different experience from every one of you. I have experienced each foraging walk in a different eye, because everything ranging from being thrown out of parks by the security holding. Actually, at one point, I've had 3 different devices in my hand trying to call people. I mean, I have the phone where everyone calls. Everything from trying to get people inside the park in the first place, and then just so that I cover everything, not to only trust my camera, I also hold another phone to capture everything. So I've had like 3 devices in my hand and I'll be like walking behind them. And for me, it's not just the mushroom, it's almost like watching a movie, because I'll be looking at people's expressions, trying to capture their wonder, seeing a mushroom. Each and every foraging walk has been different and it's a different experience. So I think it was at home.
Right.
At my home. In my backyard itself, I found 10 different species. I think that's my favorite foraging walk. If I were to say from foraging perspective.
Nice, I love that perspective. I think that's super different. Like you don't think of it like that, right?
And also, like the beauty about the foraging walks is generally we do it on Sundays, right? So Sunday is the time when generally people want to do something exciting, something like city people. So many, like everyone is working. Bangalore has this work vibe, right? But people want to chill, want to be close to nature. So yeah, finding such people on Sundays and like they enjoy walks and. No, okay, maybe we do not find mushrooms. We have always found mushrooms. But even if we don't find mushrooms, they want to be in the park and just relax and feel more true to themselves, right? That has also inspired me to always be a part of this scene of foraging, because you meet such exciting people, you always find your mushroom friends.
It's recharging also for us, because the entire week or the month would have been super stressful, and this 1 week sort of fills you up with a lot of hope, because you meet people and then they suddenly validate or they give you a lot of perspective on what you're doing, because whenever we talk about things, it's never enough. Whatever we do, it's never enough. It's always like day 1 for us. Every day is like day 1 for us. So we sort of lose track of how far we have come or what we are doing, and it's when we meet members of our community or people outside that it sort of we see that the impact of what we're doing. And I feel like every time a walk happens, we go back feeling like super recharged and like ready to do more again. Yeah.
Even in Wayanad, for example, like there were so many leeches. Did we care about it? No, right? I mean, there is a great drive. राजेश भाई, आपने हमारे साथ फॉरेजिंग तो नहीं किया, आपने हमारे साथ इधर ज़्यादातर मशरूम देखे. आपने ज़िंदगी में इतना काम किया है, अलग अलग चीज़ें की है. आज आप बता रहे थे कि आप वो बड़ा प्रेशर कुकर वाला एक फैक्ट्री में काम कर रहे थे, लेमन ग्रास वाला. आप मुझे बताइए, यहाँ आके नुवेदो के साथ आपको जब मशरूम के बारे में पता चला कि हाँ ये कुछ होता है, तो माने कुछ नया सीखने को मिला कि हाँ ये भी वैसा ही है जैसा हाँ बाकी सब काम की तरह?
नहीं वैसा तो नहीं है। पहले तो हम नाम सुने थे कि मशरूम, बाकी देखे नहीं थे कि वो कैसा होता है। यहाँ आने के बाद बनाए भी, सीखे भी। इतना सफाई रखना पड़ता है मशरूम में, वो पहली बार देखे हम तो। इतना सफाई रखना पड़ता है।
आपको मालूम था मशरूम उगा सकते हैं?
उगा सकते वो भी मालूम नहीं, सुनते थे कि मशरूम होता है और अपना यहाँ देखते थे छोटा छोटा मशरूम बगीचा में होता था।
अभी अब आप खाते भी हो?
हाँ खाते भी हैं।
मशरूम इतना
हाँ,
सारा
खाते हैं।
बरोबर।
एनर्जी तो बहुत है उसमें।
घर वालों को भी पसंद।
हमारा बीबी को जास्ती पसंद है।
What about 2023, guys? What do we have planned? What are our like hopes and dreams?
I think 2023 is going to be a great year because till now we've been focusing on introducing people to mushrooms, and I feel like, see, over the last 2 years, from the first flea market that we did till the last event that we did a couple of months ago, we are having to explain lesser and lesser to people. We would have had to spend 10 minutes with one customer to convince them what mushrooms are. Start with that they are vegetarian, it's not non-veg. And right now I think that there are a lot of things at play. It's not that difficult to convince people anymore, and they're sort of coming to us looking for this. Now it's time to take things to the next level with our range of extracts that we've been working so hard on over the last 2-3 years.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work from our side. I can say Niladri and I have been personally looking into this for the last 3 years.
Yeah, wait, Niladri something, yeah? What do we say?
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of time we've put into it, I think we are the ones who need the extract the most.
And this year, finally, now we are in the last stages of launching this, and I'm really looking forward to launching our first extract, which is what we are here for.
It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's a new challenge and it's going to be a new, whole different kind of circus. It's going to be that. It's a new product. It's going to open up so many new things for people, and I think that's a circus that I feel we're going to be celebrating. And I think happy to be part of this. While I'm not always witty with my answers, but I do always feel for it.
If you look at the larger picture, if you look at the masses, we're still a long way from where we want to be. But I feel like every small step is adding to this and is helping. And it's not just us. Even after we started Nuvedo, there have been so many different brands that came up. So many people selling mushroom growing kits and spawn and other things, right? When we talk to many of these brands also, they're so supportive. Many of them have come out and said that we've been the inspiration for them to start. We're super glad that we're doing this because ultimately what's going to happen is that we're all part of the same mission. India is one of the biggest country in terms of population in the world. The idea to get more people to eat mushrooms is not one company or one person's job. We need all hands on deck, and we need to do everything that we can to do this. It doesn't have to be grow kits, it doesn't have to be extracts, it's art, music, culture, everything. I feel like things are changing, but we still have a long way to go before we can say that something considerable has happened. That's just my perspective. Shri, what do you think?
Yeah, I think rightly said. The space requires every player to be doing their bit to put mushrooms in the limelight.
Make it part of popular culture.
As it much requires. Super proud of everyone that has been doing their bit.
Hey guys, what about the medical uses of this?
He's right. He completely forgot about the medical side of things.
That we're trying to work with other research labs around the country to demonstrate the effects of our extract.
Yeah, actually forgot to mention that part also. So a lot of things happening behind the scenes. We're trying to work with a lot of institutions, do some proper research in India with mushrooms and in a clinical setting. Hopefully we'll make some headway on that in 2023. Putting it out there for the mushrooms to hear and support us on this. Yeah. Always, Prithvi Giri always wanting to wrap things
Yeah,
up.
Prithvi is quite a wrap-upper.
Yeah, wrap it up and go home person. And I'm the opposite who wants to sit and talk about this for days. We have a lot of really cool things planned for this year. Not just us, the entire myco community in India coming together to do a lot of really cool things coming your way. Can't talk about it too much, but stay tuned, all mycophiles. We have some super exciting news coming for you.
While we have thanked the mushrooms, we should also thank our Nuvedo Circle. A big thanks to you guys for supporting us.
Thank you so much. You guys are
2
amazing.
years.
You guys are so amazing, and I think you are the reason we have done so much, at least in this space. Always showing up for our events, being there at lives, taking us to so many different cities. It's been mad, and I think you guys are amazing. Of course, if I use flowery language, it's probably not going to come out in an emotional way, but I really want to say that each and every one of you, however you have been, whether you have bought our kit or been at an event or liked a post, even if you have liked a post or casually casually like seen a story, that's enough. That's what a community is, and that's why we're here for all of y'all. So we hope to keep growing this community of mycophiles across India, and we hope to make this a huge movement, a movement of mycelium, a movement for India. And I think I love it. I love it.
I feel the wrapping up vibes coming up right now. This is the second time where I felt that yeah. And on that note,
Namaste. We'll take one picture for the cover photo.
that we have no.
No, for the cover photo of this. That's the intern wala.